Guys, we did it! 1000 subscribers! And this is the video that I wanted to make once I reached this milestone to celebrate this. So this is gonna be a Q&A video. 2 weeks ago, I asked you on YouTube and Twitter what you wanted me to answer. And I'm gonna be covering the questions that you guys submitted. So I have the questions over here and I have separated them in things about my background, lifestyle, personal development, business, and Notion, of course. So let's start with the background. Abhinav Garg asked me, what is your degree in engineering? Well, as some of you know, I'm an engineer and I studied electronical engineering. I started in 2010 and finished in 2014. After that, I started working in General Electric as an engineer and later in a smartphone company. It was in that smartphone company where I got all the experience that I'm using right now to build systems in Notion, and I worked there for 6 years. And I was living in China for 2.5 years working for that same company. So let's move to lifestyle. Abhinav Garg also asked me, when did you decide to move abroad and why? Okay, so this was in June 2017, and by then I was working as an engineer in this company that I just said, and the CTO of the company told me to go to his office, and he told me that there was a position in China and that he thought of me to go there. And at the beginning I was shocked because I honestly didn't want to go live to China, but it was because of the false image that I had of the country. But I knew that I have always wanted to live abroad, but just not in China. So then that night I couldn't sleep because I was too excited about all of this, and 2 days passed and I ended up saying yes. So in June 2017 I flew out and started living in China. Then James Stuber, I'm sorry if I mispronounced, asked me, how long have you been living abroad and if I miss my home? Well, so I've been living abroad since June 2017. After living 2.5 years in China, I moved to Bali, where I'm currently living. And about missing home, in the beginning of my experience in China, I was too excited. Everything was new places, new people. I didn't miss my home at all. And this was extended, I think, for over 2 years. I think in 2 years, I wasn't missing Spain. But it was in the last part of my experience when the things stopped to be new. I already have my friends, that life was a little bit more stable, that I started to miss my country, but mostly I started to miss my family and my friends. But luckily back then I was flying to my country every 6 months. But now that I'm living in Bali, I haven't gone back to my home since I'm here. So it's been already 1 year that I don't visit my country, and now it's starting to become a little bit more difficult, because there is so much that a Zoom call with my parents can do, and I so much miss my home. So I hope that this COVID thingy will finish soon so I can come back. Oh, and also Abhinav Garg asked me to do also a home tour. So let me take the camera and bring you around. Okay, so this is where I was recording my video. This is the sofa, but let me bring you to the entrance of the house. Okay, so this is the little swimming pool that we have, and this is the entrance to our house. Now here is the kitchen. I still have my food over here. I didn't clean it up, my girlfriend is going to be mad. And this is our main room. So now if we go upstairs is where I normally work. And we have another room over here. Don't look. And here we have my office. That is where normally I work. I have an improvised standing desk that when I'm not using, I can just take off and I can just sit down. So here is where I spend most of my time when I'm here at home. And we have this little window that is a little bit blown out. So yeah, this was the home tour. Let me bring you to the tripod again. Okay, now we enter in the personal development part. Ismail Yasir 13 from Twitter asked me how to keep going despite failure. This is one of my favorite questions, let me say. Failure, in my opinion, it doesn't exist. I just take it as feedback. And I think one of the main keys is to don't take failure personally, because people are rejecting your idea or are rejecting what you are doing, but they're not rejecting you as a person. For example, since I'm here in Bali, I began to try to earn a living through filmmaking, but that wasn't possible, so then I pivoted. And since I like also photography, I was starting to sell online presets. And I spent 1 month developing those presets. I was traveling to different parts of the island to get more samples and everything. But then when I started to sell them, I didn't have the audience. So I was spending a lot of money on Facebook ads and I was not able to sell almost anything. So I ended up losing money. But then is when I decided to start helping other people create their own online courses. But I didn't have luck with the people that I found and that I was working with. And this is the moment when I started working in what you guys are seeing right now on this YouTube channel, on the Notion Academy and everything. But was any of this a failure? I don't think so. They all helped me to arrive where I am currently at. And I didn't take any of those failures personally. And also it's very valuable to understand that there is no overnight successes. For example, Ali Abdal, it took him 2 years to have certain success with his YouTube channel. It's 2 years. So everything takes time, don't worry. And the failures that you get along the way, they're just helping you to understand what works and what doesn't. But still, I struggle because I compare myself to other people that are already much more successful than me. So even if I'm telling you all of this, I still struggle with it. So we're all human. And now I have a double question. The first one is from Bill Wallace 05 from Twitter that asked me, how long did it take to feel comfortable with going online? And then I have joined this question with Vic, also from Twitter, that asked me, do you have any example for publishing content before you were happy with it? Probably because it was keeping you from moving forward. And did it help you? And were you glad you did it? Okay, so to answer this question, I'm gonna tell you my story. I decided that I wanted to start a YouTube channel on November 2019. But guess what? When did I upload my first video? You can now go to my channel and check. It was on June 2020. This is 7 months after I have decided to make a YouTube channel. And the reason for this was I was afraid. And in fact, that very first video that I uploaded, I was talking about my fears. I didn't believe in myself that I could start a YouTube channel. For me, it was daunting to know that all the first videos that I'm gonna publish, no one is ever going to watch. I wanted my videos to be perfect, but I didn't really know how. I don't know, I saw such a big horizon of things that I needed to do in order to make this successful, that this was very, very daunting for me. So how did I finally do it? Well, I was listening to a podcast and they were speaking about how important it is for personal brands to be on YouTube, because again, it's the second biggest search engine. And after 7 months thinking about this, I got tired of my own thoughts. And it was like, Danny, you have to do this. It's been 7 months already and you haven't done it. So in fact, I shot some footage in November 2019 for my YouTube channel, but I didn't use it. I didn't edit it. It was just on my hard drive. So in the end, in June 2020, I filmed the rest of the video here in Bali. I was afraid of failure, afraid of investing so many time into creating videos for no reward, edit it together and upload it. But then I didn't do anything. Then I just waited until September, 3 more months to upload my second video. So all in all, this is hard. It's hard putting ourselves out there, but now that I'm doing it consistently, it's one of the best things that I've ever done. I have met so many people, I received so many messages, and this is just starting. I'm at 1,000 subscribers. So if you are on the fence, please DM me and let's talk. I'm going to try to help you, because having support from other creators is super important. So go ahead and message me. And to answer to your question, Vic, I wasn't happy at all about that first video that I just published, but it was that I was so tired of myself that I just said, okay, here it is, I upload and let's see what happens. So now we go to the business section. Abhinav asked me, do you invest in crypto? And if yes, how much of your portfolio? Well, I do invest in crypto. I'm a very big believer that Bitcoin is going to go through the roof, but it's a very, very tiny part of my portfolio. let me calculate, it's like a 3 or 5%. But so far, it has been 5x. James Taber asks me, what are your goals for your online business? Right now, I see a lot of misconceptions on the Notion and productivity world. I see that there is people just using Notion templates to build their entire systems. Or on the other hand, using too complex systems that they are so complex that they get in the way of getting the actual work done. In fact, this is what I call unproductive productivity. Or some other people that get lost building very low leverage kind of systems that they take longer to set up than the outcome that we are gonna get from them. So this is my objective with my online business, to try to shed some light on those problems and try to fix them by building the simplest system that are going to work for us in Notion, and to don't try to systemize 100% of everything that we do, just the things that really matter and that have high leverage. So this is my ultimate goal. Then Torps Training from YouTube asked me, what has been your best way to attract subscribers, besides creating awesome videos, obviously? Okay, so in the beginning when I started, I was sharing all my videos on Reddit and on a Facebook group. And also sometimes I was answering to people on Twitter and directing them to my videos. But what I have noticed is that normally the people that come from those traffic sources, they don't watch much part of the video compared to the people that come directly from YouTube. And my guess is that YouTube knows much better where to find my kind of viewers than myself. And this is how the algorithm works. So far, I have mostly stopped to promote my videos elsewhere, and I'm just relying purely on YouTube and on trying to make the best videos that I can do. And also Torps Training asked me, since you have a paid course on Notion, how do you balance free Notion tutorials on YouTube to gain an audience with what you have for the Notion Academy? Okay, this is a very good question, and in fact, it's something that course creators struggle with a lot. But on my case, what I have chosen to do is I'm using YouTube to show how my systems work, how they look like, how they are connected within each other. But the truth is that the attention span for people on YouTube is much shorter than if they would have bought an online course. So therefore on YouTube, I cannot spend 1 hour or 1 hour and a half teaching how to build every part of the system and the mindset that we need to have and the introspection questions that we use in the Notion Academy, because people will just click away. It's too much work. So I have just left that part of the process for people that have already invested some money so they can get the best out of it. And lastly, about Notion, Joe Goodman from Twitter asked me, what are the biggest mindset shifts that I have had while creating my Notion workspace and that have had the biggest impact on what it has become today? I have summarized this in 3. Well, before using Notion, all my systems became very, very messy. I will forget to update due dates, to say that I have completed a task and everything. So one of the biggest breakthroughs that I have had since I use Notion is discovering weekly reviews. And they are super easy to implement in Notion. You can just create a database template, for example. In fact, you can see here my video about the weekly reviews if you are interested. And this has helped me to keep my systems very, very organized and very clean. The second one has been to be able to link my tasks to my outcomes, because this is a very easy concept to implement, but super powerful, because like this, I'm ensuring all the time that every task that I'm doing is always serving one outcome. So therefore my system is not allowing any task that is not moving me towards my goals. And finally is having a system that forces me to ask myself, what do I want to achieve in my life? And then be able to build everything around that. And finally, James Taber asked me, what I don't like about Notion. Well, so currently is that Notion is feeling very, very slow, but I'm in the Slack channel of the Notion Ambassador community and they are actively working on this. And the other thing that I don't like is that they don't have an API. There's other tools that are connected with Google Calendar, with the email and everything, but Notion lacks this. But they're also working on that. So I'm pretty happy that my 2 biggest concerns are currently the main priorities of the company. Well, so that is it. These were the questions that you guys submitted, and I am very grateful if you have reached this part of the video, because this means that you care. So thank you so much for this, for spending this time together, and let's grow together to 2,000, 3, 10, and who knows until when. So that is it for this video, guys, and as always, you guessed it, hasta la próxima.